The Broken Bed, Auschwitz, August 8th, 1944. It is nightfall when, wet and chilled to the bone, we are herded into a cell block. These barracks are different. They are unlike the partially constructed ones in the previous camp in Auschwitz or the ones in Plassau. Is Aunt Celia still there in that camp? And Hindi in Surrey? Will we ever meet them? These blocks are huge, elongated brick buildings with enormous portals on each end. When you enter, you are overwhelmed by the building's size, its height and length, by the endless rows of bunk beds reaching to the ceiling on either side. A forbidding gabled roof looms darkly above. A curious, chest-high brick structure runs down the middle, slicing the block lengthwise into two equal halves. A dank, dark dread hangs in the air. The beds consist of wooden planks, forming even squares covered with army blankets. We are permitted to get on the beds, 12 women to each square. The tiers are so low that when I'm sitting upright, my head touches the tier above. I take off my soggy dress and crawl onto the lowest tier next to Mommy. I'm glad to get under the army blanket on the bare wooden planks. It stills my shivering somewhat. Ignoring the din about her, Mommy is lying with eyes closed, motionless. There is a sudden sound of crashing from above. One of the planks in the tier above cracks, sending the women on the plank into shrieking laughter. Mother's still body, directly below the dangling plank, is oblivious to what is happening. All other women on our level move to the side. Only Mommy remains, lying motionless, inches below the broken plank. I attempt to rouse her, but she refuses to move. In a frenzy, I step up on the ledge to speak to the women above. I plead with them to get off the plank so as not to break it completely, but they laugh at my alarm. Food distribution is in progress, and each is eagerly expecting her turn. Not one of them pays attention to my frantic pleas. I have no other choice but ask the Blokeltesta to help. She's a robust, pretty brunette from Slovakia who addresses us in flawless Hungarian when we came to the block. We found out her name was Elsa Friedman and that she was 16, the daughter of a shoemaker from Prešov. I'm going to explain to her that I do not wish to get the women into trouble. I only wish the Blokeltesta to order them off the tier until it is repaired. I'm sure Elsa will understand that and not punish them for having refused my request to move. I find Elsa at the entrance to her room. She's giving orders to her aide about the distribution of food. As neither of them pays attention to me, I apologize to Elsa and explain that my request is extremely urgent. Elsa glares at me. Go back to your place immediately. Please, understand, the bed is broken above my mother and she's too weak to move away. Please tell the women to get off the cracked plank before it breaks completely and falls on my mother. Please, they will listen to you. My voice chokes with anxiety. Elsa looks at me incredulously. You dare come here and interrupt. Get out of here, you stupid little dog. Her outrage is underlined by a fierce blow to my right cheekbone. My head reels from the impact of the slap. My eyes fill with tears. I run back to the bunk. The plank is dangling precariously, and the women sitting on it are unconcerned, absorbed in their food. Perhaps I'm wrong after all. Perhaps the plank is not going to break. Perhaps it is all sheer hysteria on my part. I'm too young and too scared and excessively concerned about my mother because I'm still a child. The grown-ups know better. I thought I had grown and matured in the camp, but I still behave like a baby. I'm hurt and very tired. I lie down next to Mommy, determined to stop worrying about the broken plank. After all, if it breaks, the women above are liable to get hurt too, and they do not seem worried. Why am I alone such a coward? The food is now being distributed to our tier. I managed to raise Mommy to a sitting position and place the full bowl in her lap. She begins to eat, but when I reach for my portion, the cauldron is empty. I have to wait for the next batch. I lie down again, supporting Mommy's back with one hand. There is a sudden, loud bang. The entire upper bunk comes crashing down. I'm aware of a sharp pain on my forehead. A plank has pinned me to the bed. There is broken wood all about me. Women are screaming. Naked bodies are dangling in the thick dust cloud. Slowly, I move my head to the right to see if Mommy is all right. I cannot see anything as another broken plank presses against my right cheek, blocking my view. But I hear a thin, high wail from the other side of the plank, and again, "Yay! Yay!" It sounds as if it is coming from very, very far away. Yet I can hear it amid the noise. All at once, I realize it is my mother's voice, right next to me. My God, she must be badly hurt. I start to move my shoulders and realize that I'm completely free, except for my forehead. Pressing against the plank with one hand, I manage to free my head also. Sliding on my back, I start to crawl out from under the debris. I see Mommy pinned under a huge pile of wood in a most peculiar position. She is lying on her back, but her head is bent forward in such a way that her face stares at me in a vertical pose. It is terrifying. Her eyes are wide open, but she does not seem to see me. She keeps emitting that eerie, high-pitched wail, "Yay! Yay!" The women are still sitting on top of the broken planks, some shrieking in pain. I begin to yell hysterically, "Get off! Get off this instant! There's someone right underneath you! You're crushing her to death!" Like mad women, they keep on screaming and crying, ignoring my shouts. I begin pulling them by their arms, savagely pummeling those who pull back. I cry and yell and pound at their naked flesh. "Aleki, what's the matter?" It is Mrs. Grunwald, a neighbor from home. "What happened?" I'm unable to speak. I point at Mommy's body under the rubble. Mrs. Grunwald shouts at the women, and several of them get off the bed. Others refuse. They are simply beyond caring. With the help of Mrs. Grunwald and her daughter Usa, I lift the plank that presses Mommy's head against her chest and start to pull her out by the legs. "Leave that white thing alone and help me," Mommy cries. "What's that white thing you're pulling there?" I'm in shock. "Mommy, it's your leg. I'm pulling you out by your leg, Mommy. Don't you feel it?" Mommy does not answer. She closes her eyes. The three of us manage to pull her out from under the debris and place her on top of the brick divider. She falls into a stupor. She does not respond to my voice or to my touch. A young fellow inmate, a doctor, tells me to find a sharp object, a pin, for instance. Someone hands me a needle, and the doctor pricks Mommy in several places. Mommy does not respond. The doctor's face is grim as she pokes the soles of Mommy's feet with the needle, and the lifeless body does not stir. She puts her arm about my shoulders. "You're a big girl now. You'll understand. There's no sensation in your mother's body. She's unconscious and totally paralyzed. I think her spinal column is broken. She'll never regain consciousness. It's a matter of hours. You must be prepared. You must brace yourself." No, 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 this cannot be. I will not live if Mommy dies.